Hello, welcome to this update. So let's see some news on the typhoon there. So it's already a typhoon Gaemi there, and it's now projected to reach like violent typhoon stage before making landfall in Taiwan, and even super typhoon stage. So if this occurs, if this becomes like a super typhoon before it reaches Taiwan, this will be like a category 4 hurricane in the US scale. So this could have some catastrophic impacts in Taiwan there. I want to communicate this out to them as clear as I can, that this is a catastrophic storm coming their way, not only in terms of wind but mostly rainfall and flooding. So please share the word there, and and let's see some things. So they have it as a 240 kilometers per hour super typhoon before it makes landfall there, and then weakening to a very strong typhoon and to a moderate typhoon when it gets to China, like just a typhoon. But according to this, it's already a violent typhoon. So please, your preparations should be done or finished today. This is a potentially catastrophic storm coming your way. I'm not sure what the most spoken language is there, but if you don't understand English, ask someone to translate you, and find some trustful sources for information on this typhoon. Visit some government sites to see if they have any evacuation orders, and listen to local authorities for recommendations. But please, honker, stock up on food, honker down in your home, and don't leave during this storm. It will be very dangerous outside, and if you think your home is not strong enough, evacuate further south, or find a shelter. But even further south, it will be dangerous because of all the rainfall. So we'll show you in a second. Let's see. So let's see just the rainfall first, what the different models have. So just in the next 3 days, when this makes landfall, the European model has more than 600 millimeters of rain throughout Taiwan when it makes landfall, and even before there will be already rain. So I checked their site. They currently have some extremely heavy rain warnings and typhoon warnings. So please, this is some catastrophic rainfall and occurring all like in 90% of Taiwan. Just some southernmost parts might get 200 and something, 300 in some areas. Parts of the east coast might get just 200. But these foothills, these central areas, will get likely more than 600 millimeters of rain just in the next 3 days from the system. The next 5 days is not much difference, just because this will make landfall in the next 3 days. So the GFS has a similar thing, around 600 millimeters, even to 700. It has 700, 600, and all the way to southern Taiwan, 490. So 500 millimeters, 5, 6, 700. Just northernmost Taiwan is kind of spared from the worst of the rainfall, but there'll be some very strong winds there because this will make landfall in northern Taiwan. So that area will be spared from the worst of the rain, but there will be some very dangerous winds. And the European model also has less rain for northern Taiwan compared to the other areas, but still almost 200 millimeters. You just should be careful as well. So let's see. There's this model from Japan here. So from this system, I think this is a higher resolution model or something, but this model has more than 1,000 millimeters of rain over most of Taiwan in the next 5 days, 3 days actually, from this system. Just the west coast there around 600, but I don't know what this model is doing or how it works or anything, but this model has more than 1,000 millimeters of rain just in the next 3 days. So I think that's kind of too much. I would go with the Euro and the GFS on the 500 millimeters. This is the Icon, so the Icon has 500, 400 millimeters as well, except some areas of the East Coast might get less, but this general central area is more than 500 millimeters. 400 millimeters, so this is a very life-threatening situation coming your way. Please, please, be careful, and even if you evacuate from the north, because the typhoon will make landfall in the north, you have to find a safe place in the south, because the south will also receive tremendous rainfall and cause catastrophic flooding. So please be safe wherever you decide to go. So let's see here some wind gusts from the European models, so I can't guarantee this will be the actual wind gusts from the system, because some models are weaker on it, some models are stronger. The European is weaker, so it doesn't have a super typhoon, but the European has most of the worst gusts over the ocean there, but there might be some stronger gusts inland. But I don't quite trust this, so let's put the Icon. It's a little bit more realistic, but the worst winds happen there, but kind of all the models have the winds kind of cracking down before it gets to land, so the worst of the winds it shows to be in the ocean. But for example, the southernmost islands of Japan might get some really dangerous winds, so please be careful there too. And the GFS, the most radical of them all. So let's see, for the southern islands of Japan, there's more than 116 kilometers per hour winds, 100, so very dangerous winds coming near those islands. Please be careful. And for Taiwan, I don't know why this happens, but all the models are showing weaker winds over Taiwan and stronger over the ocean. Probably the eye of the storm is that blue area there with no winds, so that's probably the eye there. But in other areas inland, it shows like very weaker winds too. But let's see if I put the wind or if I put the wind gusts, because maybe this is the sustained winds. So let's see. So now it's the wind gusts. So before I had just put wind. So some wind gusts over the southern islands of Japan might reach more than 150 kilometers per hour there. Let's see. And as it gets closer to Taiwan, the eye will be around there, but it still shows the worst winds in the ocean, like offshore. But it has some areas of more than 80 kilometers per hour. Let's see. But yeah, it's still showing the worst winds over the ocean there. But for example, this island here, I'm not sure if it belongs to Japan or to Taiwan, but it shows almost 260 kilometers per hour winds passing over there. So very strong along the coast, but I'm not sure why all the models are like cracking the winds before it gets inland, but be aware too. Basically, the track has this typhoon making landfall over northern Vietnam, so there will be some really damaging winds, but these models are like showing the worst over the ocean there, but I don't trust that 100%, but it shows some powerful gusts there. So, and more strong winds in southern Taiwan as the other part of the system affects there. So be aware, in parts of western Taiwan too, it might affect some strong winds, some islands there. So yeah, you have to be careful all over the place. So let's see here, maybe some wind. So as this gets into a super typhoon before making landfall, let's see. Yeah, it gets into a super typhoon, but the winds themselves kind of diminish as they get into the land there. The worst will be in the water, but anyways, this is like a super typhoon making landfall, so there will be really damaging winds. So I'll try to find some forecast on the gusts in a second, but let's see the precipitation. So even before the system makes landfall, shows some torrential rain bands over southern central Taiwan. And as this comes on shore, you see those whites showing up there. That's like torrential rain, heavy rain, but even torrential rain in parts of eastern central Taiwan there. And it continues. Some very heavy rain continues through Taiwan, like until Thursday. So yeah, so please be safe there. So let's see here what they have. So this is the current graphic. They have the graphics. So let's see. So they have potential 130 knot winds before this makes landfall. So like a super typhoon, and then it goes right into eastern China there, and then dissipates. So yeah, so really dangerous storm. Let's see. There are a bunch of typhoon warnings in Taiwan, and they might get some for China soon. So let's see. Wait. The warning text if they mention something about the wind gusts, but let's see. So wait, let's see here. So in 12 hours, valid at the 24th, so this is for tomorrow, they have gusts up to 160 knots, but they said wind radius, I think that's the radius, valid over open water only, but they have some gusts up to 160 knots there. That's almost 200 kilometers per hour, I think. So some real damaging winds. Let's see. Here too, gusts, and then later as the weekends, gusts to 130, 100 as it gets to China. Yeah, so a real, really damaging storm. So let's see. Here. So this is the current imagery. It almost has an eye there, already very near Taiwan. So I showed you the map there. So the models take it towards Taiwan there and China, Taiwan and China. And let's see, maybe some models. So this has it making landfall as a 940 typhoon there, like major super typhoon, then weakening before it gets to China, and then going there up. And the European has a 964 typhoon making landfall, weakening before it gets to China, and then making it to China there. So let's see. Here, so the total precipitation this until Saturday, July 27th. So they have the worst of the rain in Taiwan there, more than 500 millimeters. More rain in China from this, some yellow areas, potentially more than 300 millimeters in eastern China from this, and the remnants kind of curve going to northern China, but that won't be much from the remnants, just around some 100, maybe 150 millimeters in spots. Mongolia from those other storms, more true in Russia. And let's see, the western Philippines, still a lot of rain, more than 300 millimeters in the yellow areas. So let's see here the GFS. So let's see. So this is until next Monday. So it makes landfall there, the worst of the rain in Taiwan. Then a lot of rain in eastern China too, potentially more than 300 millimeters or more. And then it curves there, more rain in northern China, going through some other areas, eventually curving to Japan, bringing a little bit of rain, like 50 to 90 millimeters in parts of Japan. So yeah, please be careful there. Let's see. this track might change, but as this makes landfall in China, they have some sustained winds up to 150 kilometers per hour, and they don't have the gusts here, but if this is 150 kilometers, the gusts will be like more than 160. So shows some very heavy rain into China too, as this makes landfall. This keeps going there, more bands of heavy rain, yeah, and then it runs out. So let's see. So the GFS here makes landfall, yeah, it runs out. So let's see. And the storm surge will be one of the main problems. So this is the wave height. You can see some very big waves lashing the southern islands of Japan. So those waves are potentially more than 8 meters there. So they could show some really damaging storm surge on those southern islands. So that's like coastal flooding and stuff. So please be careful. And as this goes towards Taiwan, it shows the waves a little bit less, but later when this comes, like, it shows mainly offshore more than like 7 meters. But if this model is weaker, these waves will be higher. So let's see. This is that Japanese model there, I think so. Let's see. So take a look at this model. This is the model that had 1000 millimeters of rainfall. So near that southern islands, it has more than 11-meter waves there from this typhoon. And as it gets near the coast of Taiwan, let's see. It has more than 10-meter waves, but just off the coast there, in the immediate coast, like 5 meters. But ignore that a little bit, because there will be storm surge. So the combination of the strong winds plus the waves and everything, there will be lots of coastal flooding. So you can see this river, right? Some waves getting pushed into the river there, some really high waves along the river as this makes landfall. So please be careful. And then this goes away there, and potentially some storm surge towards China too. So yeah, please be careful. Let's see, where is it? The GFS. So wait here, Wednesday at, so a lot of very big waves for the southern islands of Japan, some really dangerous storm surge. And then as this gets towards Taiwan, especially this little lonely island here, shows more than 10-meter waves for this island. So please be careful. And then as this gets towards Taiwan, it shows the worst, like in the open ocean there, more than 9 meters, but then this goes away. But in the immediate coast there, wait, let's see here. So in the immediate coast, this is higher than the European, has more than 8 meters in the immediate coast going to the river as well. So please be careful with coastal flooding. So we'll keep monitoring the updates on this typhoon. So apparently it's already violent, and it will make landfall like tomorrow into Thursday, I think. So Wednesday at 8, so this likely make landfall tomorrow. So we'll try to put out a video tomorrow as early as possible. But please stay safe and warn others there. This is really violent. So let's check just some quick rainfall stuff for the rest of Asia. But our focus is on the typhoon, but we want to just look the rainfall for other places. So let's see, this is the GFS model. So until Wednesday, until tomorrow, it has some more rain in India from those storms, in parts of India, in the west coast too, from the monsoon. It has, so those yellow areas are more than 150 millimeters. Parts of Laos and Vietnam, more than 50, 100, even 150 millimeters, parts of northern Laos, mainly from the remnants of that tropical storm that came in. Let's see, more storms in China, more northern Myanmar. I think that's northeastern India. Yeah, more northeastern India. It shows the Taiwan there. Let's see, and even for tomorrow, more northwestern Japan, other areas of Japan there, Russia, Mongolia. So let's put this model until Thursday. Let's see what it has. So more in western India, potentially more than 150 millimeters. Central India from those storms into northwestern, but mainly central India. So those yellows are like more than 100 millimeters. Let's see, in Taiwan, more than 500 there. The western Philippines show some darker spots, potentially more than 300 millimeters, 100 in other areas. A little bit more in the central Philippines, but not much. Through China, more rain and storms there. Through northern China, some more storms before the typhoon gets there. More from Mongolia to Russia, more storms. And even Kazakhstan and Russia there. So, yeah, a little bit rain in western Yemen and a shower in other area. So, let's put this until Sunday. So, wait, this until Sunday, more in western India, more than 300 millimeters by then, more in central India from those storms in some areas, more in northern India. Let's see, Nepal by the end of this week too, northeastern India more, Bangladesh some areas, but mainly like 50 to 80, maybe some areas of 70 and 80 millimeters. Southern China shows more than 100, northeastern India some areas more than 100, Myanmar, especially like southern Myanmar, more than 300 millimeters, it shows there. Some coastal areas in the north, more than 100. Laos, especially north central Laos, northern Laos, more than 100 millimeters. Southern Thailand and coastal Cambodia shows more than 100 in the next 5 to 6 days. And as the remnants curve there, more rain for northern China, for North Korea there, but many spots more than 100 millimeters in northern China. This curves into Japan, leaves more than 80 90 millimeters in some areas there by the end of this week. So let's see the same thing with the European model. So this is until Sunday again. So it has more for Mongolia, Russia, northern China, North Korea, going to Japan, more than 100 millimeters, through northeastern China, through eastern China there, more than 150 millimeters in some areas, some other storms for the areas of China. Let's see, coastal Cambodia, southernmost, southeasternmost Thailand, about more than 100 millimeters, especially Cambodia, Laos, north central Laos, and northwestern Vietnam, more than 100 millimeters. Those areas of Myanmar there, more than 200, maybe 300 millimeters in the next 6 days. Through coastal Myanmar more, northern Myanmar, some heavier rain areas in parts of Nepal, northern India, but mainly central India there shows more than 300 millimeters from those storms in central India, so please be careful. Through western India, the monsoon, some in Sri Lanka, mainly the southwest. And let's see, yeah, the Philippines, more than 200 millimeters there. Let's see, so those areas are 250, maybe 300 millimeters there. Taiwan, the torrential rain. The southern islands of Japan might get more than 100. So some areas further north, like 50 through 80 and 90 millimeters. Let's see, Japan. Yeah, so this is mainly it. Stay safe from the typhoon, heavy rains and everything. And yeah, bye.